We're back with our final segment of the Screen Team, being joined by Jerry over there. It's all brought to you by Whitworth Gift Chest Jewelers, Fearless Social, and Poplar Bluff Drywall. And for everything Screen Team, go to our website at screenteampb.com. This next one is called The Full Monty. And I don't know how to describe this one other than it's a really, really awesome movie. It's a fun movie, but it's about dudes stripping.
Yeah, but more importantly, it's about dudes scheming to make money.
Yeah.
And I love movies like that. Another movie that comes to mind like that, Old School.
Oh, I love Old School, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just guys scheming to have fun, but in this particular one, it's to make money.
Yeah.
I just get a kick out of it. To me, this is really a great guy flick.
Yeah.
I'm sure women would laugh at it, the silly hijinks of how men think or whatever. But to me, it is just so flippin' hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a guy flick, and I love it. It is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really incredible movie. The story is they live in this town in Ireland or
England. They live in Sheffield.
Okay. And this town was successful for many, many years in industry, but
still in real life. And that's a real life city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's in like southwestern Yorkshire, I think. Southwestern, southeast. It's in Yorkshire.
But during the time that we're seeing this movie is that they're going through hard economic times, correct?
Absolutely.
A lot of people are out of jobs. They can't make money, and our main characters are in this situation.
Right.
They can't make any money. So one of the main characters is walking by a nightclub or something like that.
Yeah.
And he notices the ladies going gaga for the latest male review. And he kind of gets an idea to make money that way, right?
Yep, that's it. That's the premise of it. And then he just rounds up these guys that are in the unemployment office with him, as well as maybe a couple others that they tried out. There was a few that they tried out too. So
those tryouts are pretty funny.
Those tryouts were great. The thing that gets me about it though is just the scheming, just the constant scheming. Whether it's Robert Carlyle's character of sneaking into the soccer match with his son, who he's trying to get more time with. And that's kind of the big part too, is he's wanting to make that money to pay back child support and to do right by his boy. Yeah.
And all these characters have issues going on. I'm trying to think of the guy's name.
Dave Addy?
Yeah, Mark Addy.
Mark Addy.
Mark Addy. He's he's laid off as well, but he's got self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
Another one of the guys is Tom Wilkerson. He used to be the boss of the other guys, and he didn't tell his wife that he got laid off. So he's like, planning all these trips and giving his wife gifts and stuff like that.
And he's a good 10 years older than the other characters who are pretty close to middle age themselves.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes it funny too, is like, okay, here's this not quite senior citizen guy willing to take his kit off, as they call it in England, and go the full Monty.
Wait a second. No one said anything about going the full Monty. I love that line. One of my favorite scenes is the redheaded curly guy. They first meet him in the movie, and he's trying to kill himself. And they discover that, and they rescue him. And the redhead guy's like, "Hey, forget you. I didn't want you to rescue me." So they're like, "Fine." And they
throws him back in the car.
And they're talking to him afterwards, and like, "Well, maybe you can drown yourself or something like that." And he's like, "Well, I can't swim."
Yeah, and that's the point. That movie's great, man.
And it's got heart. The movie's got heart. It's got a lot of heart.
Absolutely.
You know what else it's got? It's got a awesome soundtrack.
Oh yeah, Hot Chocolate.
Hot Chocolate, you sexy thing, man.
Hot Stuff. Donna Summers.
That's another great scene. There's a scene where the guys decide they're not going to do the dancing. They don't want to do it, so they're going to go back in the unemployment line. And you see them, and Robert Carlyle's looking at the guys in line, and Hot Stuff by Donna Summers is on the radio, and they're just bobbing their head to it, and they start doing the routine.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part where they knew, they're like, we got to do this.
We have to do it.
Yeah.
But it's great because, then Robert Carlyle wants to back out at the last minute.
Right.
You know, he was the grand schemer, the guy that came up with the whole thing, and then he's going to be like, "No, I can't do it. It's too embarrassing." You know, and of course they do it.
They do it.
And the thing is, it's a movie about male strippers. There's not much nudity. There's no full frontal. I think all it shows is their backside.
All you see is like 5-10 seconds of their butts at the most. Another funny scene to me was the scene where Tom Wilkerson is trying to get a job, and behind the job interviewers is a big window, and the guys like Robert Carlyle and the other guys, they stole some of his gnomes that you put on the yard gnomes they put on the front yard, and they got him like dancing, you know, in the window, and it basically distracts him, and he doesn't get the job. But you know, it's just a funny movie. The only negative thing that I would say about this film, and it's a small negative, is some of the language. It's hard to understand because, you know, it's really thick, you know.
Yeah, their dialect, and I wonder how much of that is put on to be regional too.
Yeah,
like I don't know my English accents. I can, you know, Liverpudlians sound different than Londoners.
Yeah,
you know. But from what I understand, Sheffield is sort of like it's a blue collar area, so they probably do have an accent similar to, you know, blue collar America that's not trying to sound all proper.
Right.
You know?
Right. The movie's called The Full Monty. It was nominated for Best Picture back in the day. It's really a good movie. If you get a chance, definitely check it out.
It should have won.
Jerry, dude, thank you for being on the show, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
Glad to do it.
You're going to be on the show again in a couple weeks with your good friend Jamie Hickson. We're going to be doing a couple movies, Love and Mercy, which is kind of about the Beach Boys, and a movie called Inherent Vice. So that's coming your way in a couple weeks as well. Before you go, you want to promote some music before you go?
Well, I just handed you the finished EP.
Yeah, of your first solo.
Of my first solo, non-Ernie Lewis band recording. I play everything on it, songs I wrote. 6 songs.
Okay. And it's a pretty personal EP.
Yeah, it's very personal. There's songs about recovery from alcohol on there. I'm very open about that. I kind of get a little bit of, man, you're really open with your stuff, but I've just got to say, because of my openness of talking about that and talking about having gone through PTSD treatment and you know, being in recovery from alcohol, I've had numerous people come to me and say, "Dude, I want what you've got." And I'm not saying that to brag. I take no credit for that. There's just wonderful help out there, and yeah, if I can swallow my pride and ego and open up and, you know, tell people what I went through and what they can go through to get better as well, then it's worth being open.
Okay. Where do they find you on Facebook, or is that where they find your music?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. Jerry Foster Music. www.facebook.com/Jerry Foster Music.
Very good. Thanks for being on the show, brother. I appreciate
it.
you.
I appreciate you having me on here, man. Very cool.
Coming up next week, we've got a full hour of movie reviews. I'm going to try to remember all of them. We're going to be doing the new Finding Nemo sequel called Finding Dory. We're also going to be doing The Walk, which is starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where he plays, I guess, a French character who walked across the Twin Towers. We're also going to be doing an old movie called Cheaper by the Dozen, and we're going to finish up the hour-long show with music documentaries. We'll be doing the history of the Eagles, also It Might Get Loud, which is with Jimmy Page and Jack White.
Neat movie.
And The Edge, and we got the Pearl Jam documentary. I picked that one. So it comes your way next Saturday at 6 p.m. For Jerry and Chris, we are the Screen Team right here on KWOC.